Good afternoon, everyone. No one understands the importance of partnerships better than the people here at Fujitsu. One of our closest partners is SAP, a company I'm sure needs no further explanation. Today, we're pleased to have with us Oliver Bussmann, Executive Vice President and Global Chief Information Officer of SAP. He is one of the leading talents in IT management and, as a tribute to his expertise, was elected European CIO of 2012. He will give us his perspective on the latest IT technologies and trends. But first, let's welcome Rupert Lehner, Senior Vice President, Fujitsu Technology Solutions, who will tell us about the special relationship between SAP and Fujitsu. So here is Rupert Lehner.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the next key speaker. Based on his leadership excellence, his strong customer focus, his visionary view on transformation and innovation, and his strong ability to execute, he got in the last year a couple of awards. What you already heard, European CEO of the year 2012, #1 social CIO by Forbes, and top 25 executives in technology by Wall Street Journal, respectively. He has developed an IT strategy to support SAP's ambitious corporate goals, and he transformed the SAP global IT organization into a trusted business advisor and enabler of change to meet SAP's growing business demands. A key element of this transformation is his program, SAP Runs SAP, where SAP Global IT is in the meantime an early adopter and first reference customer of SAP applications, solutions, and products in enterprise mobility, in memory and cloud computing, thus supporting new business models and enabling new business opportunities. We as Fujitsu Technology Solutions are very proud having been selected to contribute to this project as strategic supplier and partner. He has also been a key sponsor of the SAP and Fujitsu co-innovation for HANA in memory. A big thank you for being here today as strategic partner and one of our valued customers, and for giving us an expert view of how global IT is actively driving business transformation and innovation inside of SAP. Please welcome with me Oliver Bussmann, Executive Vice President and Chief Information Officer of SAP. Oliver, the stage is all yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Rupert, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm thrilled to be here at the Fujitsu Forum in Munich. It's a perfect place for me to be here because, as you heard this morning, the partnership of Fujitsu and SAP is reshaping IT and business. And I'm delighted to talk about how we drink our own champagne or eat our own dog food. And to be honest, I like more champagne. And I'd like to talk about how we drive at SAP innovation and drive the adoption of those technology changes. Let me start. What are the key driver? And we heard a lot of information already about the megatrends this morning, and I'd like to share my perspective. What are the megatrends? I met over 200 CIOs across the globe the last 8 months, and what I see are four really big ones that already impacting my day-to-day business as a CIO at SAP. Number one is the whole mobility topic. If you look at mobile devices, last year over 460 million smartphones were sold globally, and the prediction is the next 2 years this will go up to over 1 billion. This year, so the prediction is over 110 million tablets, and round about 50% are already being used in the enterprise, so an adoption rate for something that didn't exist 2 years ago. And around about 360 million devices, laptop and desktop, last year. So the message here is the future desktop. The future desktop will be a mobile one, and it's already changing the workplace in our corporation and other corporations. That's very clear to us. The second big trend from our perspective is the whole big data topic. In our cases, looking at our data volume in our data centers globally, we double our data volume every 12 to 15 months. It's analytic data, the huge demand for analytic information. By the way, demand is even higher looking at our project portfolio than for typical business process improvement. Analytic data, unstructured data, social media is exploding, and copy data. So the key question that I'm getting out of the business, how can I leverage this kind of information, historical data, current information, to make better and faster decisions and find answer to open business questions that I cannot answer today? The interesting part is that we learned today, this morning already, there is technology out there that can process terabyte of information in real time. And if you combine that with the software that we are developing, you can analyze billions of records of information at your fingertip. And combining this with mobile information on mobile devices, there's a new behavior already that we can see in SAP. Because in the moment that you have access to all your sales information, knowing what your sales teams are doing globally, and we have over 4,000 people in sales, you know exactly, you analyze the opportunities, in our case, for over 4 terabytes of data, and display this information on your mobile device. It is almost like consumer email. We see already behavior that you look at information every time if you have in meetings, between meetings, like email consumption. So I have to disappoint you going forward from a work-life balance. We heard that we are always online. This will not change. In the future, my prediction is it will be requested to look at financial revenue over your mobile device and the capabilities. The infrastructure and the software will be there to look at that. And we have to be informed at any time, especially if you're in a multinational business. The third area, what I see is massive change also how we deploy our application. Private cloud, public cloud, around about 70-80% of new applications are getting deployed in private or public cloud. It is already required, from my perspective, we'll even go further, because if you look at the numbers of mobile devices that you have in your consumer life or in your business life, it needs a place that you store content information, secure, and have access to business functionality. So this change is coming. I see this in our organization through implementation of cloud solution. It has already an impact also on the IT organization, how we run the IT organization from a delivery model. The fourth area is the whole social topic, the social world. We as a consumer also, we are out there, Facebook, 1 billion users in a very structured way, secure way, in exchanging information, 200 million tweets on Twitter every day. So there is a space out there that the consumer is in there, and then our prediction is there is a space also in the enterprise. So collaboration will be not anymore limited to your internal collaboration. It will be required to reach out to your partners, customers, other stakeholders to exchange information and be in contact. That means the Facebook of the enterprise, my prediction is, will be defined in the next 12 to 24 months. So there is a big change. Looking at all four topics, there's one common trend that we see already that I think is the fifth trend that have a huge impact on my day-to-day business, which is the consumerization of IT. Looking at the different dimension, it is clear that we have to look in, from an IT perspective, looking at those trends in advance, because our users have access to hardware, software, support, and they have a different experience, and they have the same expectation now coming into the corporate world. And let me explain that. Why is that the case? Social media, the case on our side is we open up for Facebook, Twitter, and we have our own collaboration software, social software, to enable also the collaboration in a structured and secured way. No question about that. We have to give them a way to communicate and collaborate. Usability, especially now with the mobile devices coming in, there's a big change from big manuals to, in our cases, with over 120 mobile apps inside SAP, almost zero training. Our biggest challenge here is to generate the awareness, what kind of mobile applications are out there, and bring them closer to our user community. Another big change is on the device side, on the mobile device side. There's a shift from there was only one corporate device, and everybody is a big user of RIM devices, and also continue using that, into the user will have, like in the consumer world, choices. The choices will be a little bit limited compared to the consumer world. But in our case, we provide different devices from Android, Apple, Windows devices, over 10 corporate devices. And the same infrastructure that we're using to make those devices secure with our software is also personal devices. We believe that the separation of your personal life and the business life will disappear. Generation coming from college or university, they're demanding they want to have one device. So bring your own device is absolutely critical. And therefore, you need the secure infrastructure, the software to manage this, that this separation will disappear. Information consumption. As I said before, we are moving away from very static information to real-time interactive. Real-time, it's always up to date, it's easy to access, you go back and it's fun. And what we also see here is the support models and structures are in the middle of a big change. If you go to a Microsoft store, an Apple store, you like to go back because you can test drive, you can play, there are experts, there's a Genius bar out there. And so the same approach we also already did implement. We'll continue over 10 mobile solution centers that we are moving our IT organization in front of our internal users so they can test drive the different devices. There's an expert, a Genius bar that people can sit together, users sit together about application and devices, and they come back for training, etc. And we place those solution centers in the middle of offices or that people go by. And then in certain offices, we have 200, 300, 400 visitors every day. So the support structure, from my perspective, is in the middle of a big change. So having said that, is as the CEO of SAP, I'm going to on a regular basis to consumer shows like CES in Vegas coming up in January, or Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Those are trends that I predict that we see within 3, 6, 9 months, depending on in which industry you are, the user will have similar expectation and will ask it. And as a CIO, you have two choices. One is you wait, and I can guarantee, based on the experiences, the business units, departments will find solutions to get to this kind of services. Or you engage and lead the change. And that's something that we did over the last 3 years. From that, having said that, I see also that the role of the IT organization is in the middle of a big change through innovation. And I have to admit that I played in the last 20 years, 22 years that I'm in the IT business, that I played only 2 out of 3 roles. First role is the functional CIO, the functional IT responsibility to be best in class in the different areas, from infrastructure, application services, get benchmarked, etc., highly measured and trackable from my perspective. That's the must do. The second area, which is sometimes already a challenge for a certain IT function, is being involved in a business transformation. At SAP, we are in the middle of a big change to grow our business, regional expansion, teaming up with partners like Fujitsu to increase our distribution channels, That's required a lot of IT involvement, etc. So I'm part of that team to manage the master plan to bring us to the next revenue and profitability level. And around about 1/3 of the improvements are IT related. So that's a sweet spot also of IT. The third one that I highly recommend, and I discovered it at SAP, is innovation. Be a strategic IT, strategic CIO, is figuring out how can innovation be used as part of your product lifecycle or service lifecycle, and generate a value for that, and be part of the customer experience, sharing this information outside your company. In our case, we moved the IT organization closer to the development organization, and we are a partner of the product lifecycle, test drive, and be co-innovating products, and sharing this with the product organization and with my peers outside SAP. Other IT organizations, like a German car manufacturer, the CIO is now in charge for the entertainment system, the software part. So it's become a critical part of a product, a service. And if a CIO or an IT organization finds that a sweet spot to inject IT into that product or services, the value will change of IT. So innovation, in our case, helps to change the perception and value of IT in a business organization. Having said that, looking at our portfolio, innovation portfolio that we now, in a very structured way, we manage is, we started with few projects in 2010 in the memory space, HANA that you heard this morning. We were the first customer in co-innovating that middle of 2010. We were first user also of tablets in 2010. It is now a program of 5% of our project portfolio is innovation related that my organization is driving. We have 80 projects running from our core applications, analytics, cloud, mobility, databases, and memory technology. Whatever comes out of that product factory development side, we are 12 to 18 months ahead of general availability. We are discovering and recommending, in general, 2,000 product changes, new functionality every year. So it helps the product to mature, to avoid that our customers, our peers are going to a learning curve. And let me share, out of those 5 categories, our key learnings so that you can use this also from a business perspective, use this innovation as a front runner in your business. Let me start with the core applications. And that's the perception most people see us as the ERP provider. And I have to say, this is still the foundation for all of innovation. We centralize our business critical systems on a single instance from an ERP perspective, HR, CRM, business warehouse, portal. We are supporting 70,000 users in 250 locations, 70 countries globally, out of single instances. We have around about 50 critical business systems, highly standardized and centralized. This is one of the reasons why we can take on acquisitions in 3 to 6 months timely manner to move them on our IT processes and business processes globally. And that's also the foundation for innovation. We don't have to go a regional or country consolidation for mobility, for analytics, big data, etc. There's only one entry point. Looking at risk and security efforts, I have a small team of 25 people globally managing the entire security of the business landscape, the IT landscape. So it is the foundation for all the work, and having that house in order is absolutely critical. Moving on to the analytics. Analytics, as I said before, is in the middle of a huge demand. Looking at our portfolio, looking at research information, it is clear that the spend for analytic information or projects in that area is bypassing other categories. And I see 4 trends in how we leverage internally analytics. Number 1 is if you combine the capability in process huge amount of data so that There is no limitation anymore that usually takes days and weeks to process and makes this analytic capability online available in real time. There's a new user experience, and the demand for that is going up significantly. In our cases, we centralize all our business analytic information into our business warehouse in memory and utilizing Fujitsu. Because Fujitsu is our preferred partner here for the in-memory technology from a server infrastructure point of view, because it fits together here. We have 3 multi-nodes server from Fujitsu in place with 14 terabyte of main memory. The second trend that we see is mobility. Looking at the mobility applications area, the number one use case is mobile BI, mobile business intelligence. All the dashboards that you have in the typical desktop and laptop environment, you can move them over to mobile devices. And what we see also internally is that the consumption rate of analytic data is exploding. Because it's easy to access, you know the application app, the icon on the tablet, you click 3-4 times and the desired output is there. So consumption of those analytic information, dashboards, reports, and then if you combine this with real-time information, is multiple higher than in the traditional office environment, because you have at any time access to structured data. The third area is collaboration and social. What we see is that, like in the consumer world, that if you have find information, you can distribute your information through social media channels like Twitter, Facebook, etc. That integration is now also coming through on the analytics side. And I think it will also come through other business applications. In the moment you have findings and information that you want to share and comment on, there is an integration into social software. But social software that is focusing in a secure way on your corporation to make sure that this information is saved and reach only certain user communities, for example. So those are the trends that I can see from a software very strongly supported by Fujitsu coming together on the analytics side. Moving on to the next category is the cloud topic. From a cloud perspective, we see a huge change coming also from cloud services now available in specific lines of business functionality. And I really enjoyed the usage of cloud through our acquisition of SuccessFactors in the HR space. SuccessFactors is the leading cloud provider for HR solutions with 16 million users globally. And we implemented this HR components from performance measurement, setup, recruitment, talent management, over 19 modules within 3 months. The key learning is IT has to be in the driver's seat, because there is skills required from architecture, from a data integration, security perspective, and then also from overall data management. On the other side, there are benefits that these solutions are highly standardized, coming out of the box. And on the other side, it requires also the business has to be extremely disciplined to follow those standards. The same applies also from the different dimensions that our solutions are coming up, from a customer perspective, sales on-demand solution, how you interface, manage your customers, how you collaborate here in that area. The same also for suppliers. With the acquisition of Ariba, this is the leading cloud solution provider for the supply management area. That you connect to your suppliers in an organized way. There are central marketplaces that you go there and there's automation in place. Same also for the financial. The first developments also to bring financial functionality application into the cloud. Loosely coupled solution, lines of business solution. Easy to use, easy to implement, and integrated with our SAP core system as a hybrid model. The key trend also here is social software in the cloud. We just announced last week the availability of an SAP Jam, which is a social software that is the Twitter, Facebook in the enterprise world. So you can collaborate with your peers, with your colleagues inside the company and then outside the company. But the big difference here is highly integrated also into your cloud solutions, in our cloud solution, on-premise solution, and mobility. So wherever you have information that you want to share, Jam is the central place that we want to establish, or already, especially internally. We're using this already internally. We have over 60,000 users. And also going forward, that every time if there's an information and you want to bring people together, there is one central place and there are not other collaboration spaces that, depending on the topic, people have to figure out where to go. Moving on into the mobility topic, which is an important one. As I said before, the desktop of the future at our workplace is a mobile one. And we went through, from my perspective, an interesting and successful journey over the last 2.5 years in establishing our mobile devices and application within SAP. And let me share as much as possible what are the learnings here. Looking at the mobility is enabling, also giving access to our employees to mobile devices. We are the second largest enterprise user of tablets. We have over almost 20,000 tablets deployed within SAP. We have over 120 mobile apps, different categories deployed within SAP, and this will continue. And as I said before, we believe that bring your own device is critical, so the separation of personal life and business life will fade. What we learned also going into that mobile business, and we started that with the announcement of the iPad 2010, and there was a discussion, this is a consumer device, this is an enterprise device, and we said, it is something that we have to prepare ourselves, and we had the infrastructure ready and software ready for the iPad already in April 2010. And that time we had a discussion internally, what are the objectives? What should we do to drive the mobility topic? The mobility topic is, as I said before, to set up a mobile mindset. If our employees are no chance to use mobile devices, to use it, to play, to learn, there will be no transformation how we do business into the mobile world. There will be always challenges, how can we move business processes into the mobile world? So giving them access to learn and adjust and use this was absolutely critical to us. The second topic that was very clear also at the beginning of our mobile strategy is to be device agnostic. Looking at the mobile space, the speed, the agility of new device development is multiple higher than traditional IT environments. So you see mobile devices, sometimes 2 generations of the same model coming up per year. And there will be players that are now front-runners, and there will be new players within 12 to 18 months. So to be device agnostic from supporting different hardware and then software also supporting that was for us absolutely critical, because the demand is coming out of the user side. And we have almost 15,000 and more people on the road, on the customer, reaching out to customer. And that was also an important objective, to give them all the tools, content, and devices to do their job wherever and whenever they need. And in front of the customer, on the way to customer, etc. That was absolutely critical for us. Also, what we learned is it is not a one step and then you're done. It is an ongoing activity to develop a device agnostic strategy. And let me explain why we believe this is a multidimensional strategy, that it has to be updated on an ongoing basis like you do with your IT strategy. It starts with the device topic. The key question that I always get is, Oliver, what kind of consumer device should we allow, should we open up in our enterprise business? What are the tools out there to manage them? Because in opposite of the RIM devices, those devices are not coming with a device management tool. Like in the RIM, you have really from configuration to deployment software in place. That's not the case with Apple Android devices, for example. So and then the question is what kind of mobile device management you can use to ensure that there's a secure end-to-end lifecycle management in place. This is the number one hurdle for a lot of IT organizations. But there is a software category out there called mobile device management to manage this, to give everybody the chance to manage different devices across different device manufacturers to manage that. The second area is the application management area. This is a total different life cycle, project life cycle that we have in a typical back-end ERP environment. It's very agile. We're talking about 30, 60, 90 days. You engage with the business has to be in a sprint agile environment, be part of the 60, 90 days. And you do this in a fast-moving environment. And the critical experience here is that the IT security guys have to be involved upfront of that project because always the penetration testing and requirements become a bottleneck at the end and delays the deployment. The third area, if you then over that two hurdles, then is what is your application roadmap? If you have the devices, what's the roadmap for the next 12 to 18 months? And my recommendation, start with low complexity and increase the complexity to more workflow, starting with mobile BI and to more workflow-related, heavy information that you want to deploy. And this roadmap has to be adjusted based on feedback and usability and usage on an ongoing basis. The last dimension that I like to stress is if you then in the categories of 20, 30, 50 apps deployment, the key question is then, how can you avoid a one-to-one relationship to device and mobile application? Because the goal should be, whenever you develop an application, it should run on different mobile devices like an Android, an Apple, or Windows device. Plus the ability to use standard connectivity to your backend system should be in place. So a mobile application platform is critical that we are also using internally and also our product here to develop application to the different mobile devices and have connectivity to an SAP, IBM, or Microsoft backend system. And let me explain where we are. We have, as I said before, we are the second largest users of tablet globally, so we have the infrastructure in place to fully automate that deployment. We have roundabout on the iPhone side also 16,000. We have Android devices. And we just started together with Fujitsu, and we believe that is a big trend to deploy Windows 8 tablets. Because the challenge that we face with the other operating system is you still have two environments. You have the mobile environment and you have the laptop environment. And with the Windows 8, I think we see a great opportunity as a hybrid model, that you have new mobile apps using the Windows tile structure and the traditional Office application, desktop application, still functioning and working on one device. So there's always a discussion, how can I make sure that I don't have multiple devices, a laptop, a tablet, and a smartphone? How can we combine that as much as possible? So I believe, and this is the reason why we are heavily investing together with Fujitsu, heavily investing in that to learn, and we have the first application already out there to learn how does it work, how's the usability, how's the integration. But the key platform for all the devices here is you don't want to ship the devices sending a technician over to your user. It has to be automated, like your desktop environment, your laptop environment. So what we're using is a mobile device software called SAP Afaria that a user can order in our shopping cart system a device, go through approval process, get shipped to the desktop, and with an activation code, the user can activate the device within 5 minutes. So we are not touching the device from an IT department perspective. It is self-activated by the user, and at that moment the device is fully configured from a security, from a network, from an email application. There's an application app store on that, and the device is getting monitored. If there's any security breach or somebody tried to hack in, we remove then those devices or delete those devices. So at any time, the device is under full control of SAP. And also what we learned is with the multiple devices, we direct folks to Web 2.0 wikis, so folks has to go through the website and get information out there instead of setting up a huge support infrastructure. So you can do this if you have that in place. We did deployments of 4,000 tablets within 4-6 weeks. So you can fully automate that and minimize the impact on your support organization and impact on the IT organization. At the end, you use the same infrastructure, the same software to support bring your own device. As I said before, this is something that we believe this trend is not stoppable. What the learning is, and we started that project middle of last year, is we started big and say, let's do bring your own device globally, but we've been through a learning curve. And the learning curve is, first of all, it is not only in IT projects. I would say 50% of the effort is business related. And let me explain why. Because we discovered that country by country, you go through legal, data protection laws, security laws. You work with your HR department from a procedure perspective, the whole onboarding process of devices. Then also with finance, how much you want to absorb from a data plan perspective. Is there any specific country-specific requirement that we have to pay for certain services? And also how you communicate, how you engage with business sponsors, with your community. And it's a country-by-country deployment. And we started in Asia as part of the Dynami in Japanese business. And then we moved it to rest of Asia, North America, South America. And by end of the week, we open up because the data protection in Europe is a little bit higher in Germany and the rest of Europe. So it is something that we believe is critical. But again, if you have the infrastructure in place for your corporate devices, you can leverage that also for personal devices. But the business effort is something that you need teaming up with your experts out of legal, HR, finance to do that. And I believe this will continue also then for other devices like laptops, desktop, etc., that this separation will disappear. Going to the support structure, as I said before also is, we believe that that's the whole way how we provide services is impacted by the consumerization of IT. So what we did is we implemented in all region already mobile solution center in larger location, almost 10 by end of the year there will be 15. So what we did is most of the location where the wireless shop, people handing over devices for repair, we moved those people in front of our internal users. Nicely designed places that you can test drive the 10 different devices. There's a Genius Bar, there are experts out there that you can meet or you can schedule an appointment. There's a training area, there's a repair area. So a place that our internal user like to go back. So with that, we have a different interaction touch point with our internal users instead of calling somebody. And the frequency we discovered is multiple higher than doing other ways to do support. So for us, an important topic to drive customer satisfaction. And out of our user survey, we got that message already the previous 2 years that people out of our users, out of having that consumer experience, they want to have that also in the corporate environment. Moving on to the next area, the application roadmap. And let me explain how we deploy the 50 apps, and we have run about 70 apps for demonstration, and then also employees develop application. We allow also, after certain validation, that employees develop application, and we have a marketplace for trying this out. So let me start with the first category here that we put on our roadmap is, as I said, business intelligence. From the revenue, pipeline, finance, asset, personal information, risk reporting, staffing, all information that you have in your central system, you can put out there in a structured way. And again, my observation is this will be consumed. This will be used and used on a day-to-day business whenever they need information. And you don't want to go back if you're in a meeting and there's a question that is not reflected in your PowerPoint, it's in your dashboard. Structured data is a perfect topic for mobile devices. The second area is everything around sales, around customer, from customer relationship management, product information, product presentation, pricing information, into customer views, 360 views of a customer, and also now we are moving rapidly into the transactional business. Order, billing information, setting up of orders, for example. The third dimension is information, because the devices are super for information consumption, absorption. And the same what you have in the external business, newspaper, magazine apps in the mobile space, you can bring them over also into the corporate business. So we have a corporate application customized to the different user groups in the region, function. They get information out of RSS feeds, really nicely displayed on mobile apps. So it's a big change that we see already, how we drive information combined with our social software from a collaboration perspective. And then you can combine this with other apps like, then also on the productivity side, which is the fourth category. What we observed, another proof point for consumerization of IT is with iCloud, Dropbox coming out last year. We discovered that there's a lot of critical information could be moved out on server outside the European Union. And that's something you want to protect your IP. So what we did is we developed a solution called SAP Box that handles documents in your private cloud. It stays in your data center, in our data center, and it's fully controlled from our perspective. And then we added, that's a big theme right now, we added a lot of now workflow-related application. Whatever you have out there on your portals, from a HR self-service, from a procurement perspective, those processes are ideally already can be moved over, shift over on your mobile device. In my case, I do all the shopping cart investment approvals on the mobile device. I don't have to go back to my laptop or go back to the office, log in, go to the portal, etc. I do this in meetings. I read this for half a minute, and approve this and move on. The same also for HR leave requests, for example. All processes that means approvals or initiation is perfect. It's a perfect topic for mobile devices. Again, this is only a snapshot that what kind of application we put out there. There will be many more. We do this in an agile, fast-moving way. There are software development kits from SAP to have a starting point. And there are over 150 apps from partners like Fujitsu and SAP that are already out there on the different app stores, Android and Apple. At the end, we are moving also on the application side. And you saw the device, the tablet already this morning, the Windows 8 tablet from Fujitsu, which is now available, which is, I have to say, a pretty cool device. And the first thing that we did is what kind of apps could we put out there? And if you have time, go to the SAP booth here. We have the tablet from Fujitsu with application like the interview assistant. If you conduct interviews with applicants, manage insight, performance reviews, and manage your team. Financial fact sheets are all about if you're in a customer business. And then also risk policy surveys, keep track of your latest policy changes, for example. As only a few examples, there are many out there in the work. So we believe that Windows 8, and then with such a strong device, a cool device from Fujitsu, this is a new value. So this is something that we are exploring and also will deploy over the next few months. Coming now to the big change in our business that we heard this morning in the keynotes is the in-memory technology. And let me explain a little bit about what in-memory means, the HANA technology. It's a combination of hardware and software. On the hardware side, main memory is becoming very inexpensive. It's affordable. And what you do is we have now machines from Fujitsu with 1, 2 terabytes. The multi-node, we have 12, 28 terabytes, and I think there will be even more main memory available. My prediction is we're talking about 100, 250 terabytes the next few months. It's a big change from my perspective. So you can move your entire SAP landscape and also non-SAP landscape in the main memory of a Fujitsu server. But that's only one improvement lever. The other one is those machines have Intel Core processors. And here comes the software in play, is the software from SAP moving the data into the main memory and spread the workload across hundreds, thousands, and more processors. With that, you can have then, with the HANA appliance, which is the combination of Fujitsu hardware, the HANA database, and HANA application, you move away from relational database into row and column store databases. And in certain instances, you have 5 to 10 X factor compression. So in our case, we have a 4 terabyte CM database, went down to around about 700 MB. But the combination of both, and that's a big difference to the rest of the world, is yes, you bring data into main memory and you don't have to write and read information from your hard disk. Spreading that workload will bring you into the 10,000, 100,000 per factor of improvements category. And here, this is not only a technology play. At the end, we're talking about how can you parallelize your business processes that you did in the past over days or weeks in a sequential order. So I can really confirm, and let me share a few examples, that we're in the middle of a big change how we do data and business processing. In our cases, we started with the first HANA application in the middle of 2010 with our real-time pipeline analytics, profitability calculation, business warehouses, and the over 12, 15 projects we have already in place. And let me explain what is the evolution. And we heard Hasso Plattner's names already this morning that we laid out 2 years ago, and we are executing on that promise. The first thing that we did in 2010, and it was available end of 2010, beginning of 2011, was the side-by-side. You have a core system from SAP, and there are also a lot of peers and customers using non-SAP system to move the entire information without any limitation into a HANA appliance. And then there are real-time procedure techniques out there. Whenever you touch this core system, this information is available in your HANA appliance, and you do real-time analytics without any limitation. In our case, access to 4 terabytes of information in seconds. So there is no need to go back to your IT department and say, extract this information and put it into a report. That's possible today. And we're using heavily here also the machines from Fujitsu. So the same also, the second step that came into place is using HANA as the underlying database for a business warehouse. It helps to simplify the whole structure of a business warehouse. The data loads get accelerated, data processing also, so complexity is reduced. Also here, running on a Fujitsu HANA appliance. The third area is new applications that are built on the HANA platform in the area of business planning, workforce analytics, etc., that are using those hardware and software advantages to speed up processing. And we are heavily also engaging with startup firms. There's a $300 million startup venture capital firm out there that invest in firms to develop new applications around the globe. This is big. This will be big going forward. The interesting part will be then, and therefore the whole Fujitsu system management functionality as planned this morning coming to a place, is transactional system being moved over on a HANA appliance. Our prediction was in 2010 this would happen in 2013, 14, and I can confirm that this will happen next year. We are working already on that internally, that our core system, ERP system, CM system, will run on those systems, on 100%. And therefore, disaster recovery, backup, all the functionality that we talked about this morning will become extremely critical because it's not anymore a side-by-side scenario. Has to be maintained like your business-critical environment. So let me share 2 examples in that area. One is profitability calculation, a very important topic at every quarter and in our business. We do this at the quarter end, around about 2 to 3 days does it take to process, analyze, adjust, repost, and do the profitability calculation. Absolutely critical for our quarterly reporting, for the financial analyst community, etc., to have all the insights. It's an operational risk if we don't do this within 2 to 3 days. So what we did in using a rapid deployment package, we did this within 4 weeks. We implement a change into a HANA appliance instead of a relational database. And what we did is we accelerate everything less than 4 hours. I think we can also move it down to 2 hours. My prediction is we will do the profitability calculation going forward maybe on a day-to-day basis. But the big change here is not that we can minimize the operational risk. In our case, it's from 28 hours to less than 4 hours, and minimize that we run into an issue from a reporting perspective. We have more information. So the detail level that we look at those information is not anymore on the aggregated level. We can go down on the lowest level. And if we see some issues, exceptions, so we can go back to the system and change that. So that's something, a big change for the way how we look at our data, how we get value out of the data. The second area is that I want to share with you is the sales pipeline reporting, that how we manage our 4,000 people in sales. In the past, 4,000 people have to enter every time if they touch a customer, our CM system. It goes to a business warehouse, reporting engine, takes 4, 6, 8 hours to have an aggregated view about what's going on in our business. And we are quarterly funnel driven, so we have to make sure that we reach our quarterly results. And so we had always the issue, if we talk about where's the business, that everybody had different information level, different detail level. And so what we did is we put the HANA appliance side by side to the CM system. So every time if there's a change in our customer base, we see this in real time in the HANA appliance analytics and then share this information on mobile devices. So our executives, they live and breathe that, see, is the book of business with 1 million opportunities, 200,000 customers, is there a change in certain European countries? Do I have to be aware of that? Should I call certain account manager to help them, etc.? It's not anymore that I read a day or monthly reports. You want to know, is there a shift of demand? And you want to respond on that. And you can translate this example also into other industries, retail industry, banking industry, insurance, in the area that you have big data. And getting answer to open business question that would take days and weeks, this technology will help you to answer that question in seconds. It changed the way how you make decisions, how you do processing, because it's not only about here 4 terabyte of data. We have examples of 450 billion of records that can be processed in seconds. So it's a big change that we are going through. So at the end, my recommendation is, looking at all the innovation topics, it is an opportunity for the IT organization to embrace this early stage and together with the business, and we do this with proof of concept, these innovation projects, because the business then understand, wow, there's the mobility apps that I can do in HANA, and I can tell you, even working for a high-tech company like SAP, it is not it's not expected that also the business units are up to date what's going on the innovation side. Giving them a chance to go through that is key. Also, therefore, start your innovation projects now. Do it small one. Pick good people that are willing in your organization to go the extra mile. Build trust. Business will come back and do even more. And make the end user a part of your project, of your design project. You saw that with the mobility topic. The agile, the interactive involvement of the business user is critical. Watch consumer trends. The consumerization of IT is real. Bring your own device will come. It's not stoppable from our perspective. In memory and mobile are key enablers for our business strategy. Your business strategy is prepare yourself that here the IT organization together with some business can transform the business because we're moving away from very sequential to parallel business processing with the in-memory technology that Fujitsu and SAP can enable your organization. So those are the key learnings. And again, it only works together, as I said at the beginning, if you find the right partner. And the partner is here, the ideal combination that I can confirm because we use internally already over 250 HANA server coming out from Fujitsu. That's the combination of a proven partner, Fujitsu and SAP, generate that power package that come up with an end-to-end solution. So there's a lot of information, more information that I can share, and my offer to you is in a connected world. Follow me on Twitter, SAP CIO, or read one of our blogs, my blogs, sap.com/CIO, the SAP Runs SAP blog, because there's always a way to interact, to learn from you, with my teams, etc. And it was really a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Oliver, thank you very much again for this very, very impressive speech and presentation. And allow me one last question. You mentioned also one point I think is really one of the hot topics, that is the whole in-memory technology and what we have done with HANA. And I said it today also, in-memory technology is really one of the points where we are also strong believer. And the question for me is now, from your perspective, what are really the advantages for our customers from the cooperation Fujitsu SAP are coming?
I think the key advantage is the very close collaboration and partnership between both companies. Because the Fujitsu team, development team, engineering team is injected in our HANA development organization. They're working hand in hand together to make sure that the HANA appliance from Fujitsu is enabled from a disaster recovery perspective, from a TCO perspective to handle multiple systems, because at the end, you build a new infrastructure out there. This disaster recovery, backup, etc., everything that you heard this morning is only working together because both companies are working closely together, embracing that in the in-memory space and then also in the mobility space and other topics. So it's only possible if both companies are really working hand to hand and share information, and that's the case. And I see this day to day in my environment, and there's a reason why we have over 200 HANA server deployed internally.
Yeah, thank you very much again. It sounds for a very, very great future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.